Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking, and today we're going to talk about languages within the game ArcheAge. And I'm not referring to French, English or Spanish, but I'm talking about elven language, human language, Firran language and so forth. Yes, you heard it right. You can actually speak these languages within the game. There is a system to do that, and I'd like to talk about this. I'd like to talk about how to speak these languages and how to learn them. So let's begin. First things first, let's talk about the languages you have. So as you know, there are two different continents. In the west you have Nuia, and in the east you have Haranya. And basically in these continents there are two different races. So in you totally have 4 different languages in the game and 2 continental dialects, a sort of common language understood by all races living in that actual island. So to begin with, in the west, as you know, you have elves and Nuian, basically humans. So an elf, for example, will start the game knowing the elven language and the Nuian continent dialect, but he does not speak human language, so the Nuian actual language, not the dialect, the language. He will not understand Nuians if they speak their own language, and obviously he will not be able to understand languages from the other side of the world. So Harani, the Haranian language, their continental dialect, and the Firran language. So how does this actually work? When you speak a language that someone else doesn't understand, all you write in the chat, whether it be a shout, whether it be a whisper, doesn't matter, all you write will appear as gibberish to the others, so they will not be able to understand what you are writing if they don't have this skill. And basically the way you do that is what I'd like to show you now. But one thing which is good is that you can actually learn these languages. You can learn all languages in the game, and so that you will be able to see what people are writing regardless of what language they are using in that specific moment. So let's get to the actual way to speak these languages. But before we do that, I'd like to thank my friend Manuel, who found out about this. I didn't know. He taught me how to do it, and now I'd like to share it with all of you YouTubers so that we can all have even more fun with this fantastic MMORPG. Alright, so here we are in the game, and this is my character, as you can see, and I'm waving to you because I'm a nice elf. And what you need to do, you need to push the K button on your keyboard, and that brings you to the skills tab, and the one that you use when you increase your level. And there are quite a few other tabs here, and the last one in the right corner is the language tab. And as you can see, as I said, there are 6 languages, and since I'm an elf, I only know 2 languages. And I don't know the Nuian language of the elves, of the Nuian people, of the humans. I know the dialect, and I don't know the other languages. So how do you do that? First thing, you need to basically open up the chat, and you need to write the following things depending on the language you want to write. So for example, let's try / and Nuia. Now, as you can see, you can read here that the language has been changed to Nuia continental dialect, and now everyone who knows this language, meaning Nuians and elves, will understand that what I have written there. They will not read it as gibberish. But people who don't know this language, they will read it as gibberish. Let's try another one, and let's try elven language. So now that I write /elf, all I'm writing now will be able to be read only by people who know the elven language. So even people in my continent who don't know the elven language will not be able to understand what I'm writing, and only gibberish will appear on their screen. Let's try another one. Now I'm switching to Nuian. This is not the continental language, this is the language of Nuians, and as you can see, as I type, since my character does not know how to speak this language, only gibberish appears. And this is a fantastic thing. This is really fun. I'd like to show you something else. So now I'm trying to, I'll try to speak the language of Harani. You just type /Harani. And as you do that, whatever you write, again, will appear in my case as gibberish because I don't know a single word of that language. So again, you can do that with Haranya. And if I do that, I'm trying to speak the dialect of the whole continent, which again, I'm not able to do. And last but not least, Firran language, for example, would be an interesting one. As you can see, gibberish appears. So this is basically how you do it. You just need to write these things. So that if we switch back to elven language, that brings the point. If you are a group of elves, and you just want to kill those humans over there, but you want to talk among them yourself, but you don't want them to understand, you can do that. Because you write in the elven language, if no one speaks it there, then they won't be able to understand what you're saying, and you can work out your ambush. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, having said that, obviously you might want to be able to speak and be understood by other people. So how do you do that? Well, first thing, there is one thing you need to do. So there are two things you can do. You basically need to find a tutor, a language tutor, and there are two ways you can do that. Either go to a library, you find them in all main capitals, but make sure to go there during daytime, because at nighttime tutors actually sleep, you know. So you go there, normally when I heard people that found them like in the morning, 11:40 game time, so that could be an idea. So you find one of these and you can have them teach you the language. Or you can craft a tutor, and that's actually an interesting concept because I'm a language teacher myself in real life. So that sounds like as if someone could, if that were the case, someone could actually craft me, and that's a bit odd, I have to say. But that's beyond the point. So how do you craft a tutor? Well, you need to make these cushions where these tutors will appear, and after you do that, then in whatever case you have managed to have a tutor in front, what you need to do, you need to use these books, these texts that are used to practice the language in order to increase your skill. And to understand another language, you don't need to get it to 100%. Already with low percentage of language skills, some words will start to appear among the other gibberish, and if you get it to up to 50-60%, you will be able to understand almost all you need. But obviously full proficiency would allow you to understand completely everything that is being said. So as I said, what you need is a book. You need to craft a book which is called The Art of Language, and in order to craft this book, which you can craft it yourself, you need 50 lumber and 100 labor points. All right, and when you take this book and give it to the tutor, it will increase that specific language you have chosen of 1%. So basically, in order to know completely thoroughly a language, you need 100 of these books. So 5,000 lumber and 10,000 labor points. That's a lot, but makes sense. Learning language is not easy, and I like the idea. I like this. It's fun. And as I said, you don't really need to bring it to 100% in order to be able to communicate with that language. So again, to sum it up, if you will have a decent understanding at like 60%. Before that, it will be a bit difficult to speak that language. But how does it work? Basically, you see a word here and there, but mostly gibberish until you get over 50% or so. So one of the questions could be, are people able to understand you when you talk back to them, seeing how you understand their language now? And yes, the answer is yes. So the percentage you reach represents your ability, your skill to both speak the language and understand the language. All right, I think I've covered almost everything about this topic. If there is any other question you have on the topic, please post it in the comments below and I will answer it as soon as possible. I always read and I always answer all my comments. So thank you very much for playing this game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye and have fun.